Hey, hey, hey. We are live from the Baker Build studio. It's a balmy 30 degrees outside, but it's getting hot in the studio.
And it is getting hot in the studio because, if you can't tell, we're bringing back the podcast. But we're coming at it totally different angle, and we actually have a game plan this time instead of just winging it. So, if you're new here, I'm Zach Baker, Baker Builds. In the middle, we got Matt.
Howdy.
Do you want to go by a different name?
No, Matt's good. I
Okay.
like that one.
And then at the end over there, we got Slim. And we're the three, I was going to say morons, but can you say morons?
Sure.
We can say morons, right?
You can say more.
We won't get canceled for
Valid.
that. We're the three morons from outside of St. Louis, Missouri that like fishing and building baits. So what we're doing is we're totally changing the podcast. If you guys have seen the original ones, hats off to you. We're coming at a totally different angle.
Wait. We forgot the intro song.
Oh, yeah, I
You
did
ready?
forget about that.
Okay, we're going to sing the intro song.
Have you practiced the intro song?
I don't think I know it.
We sent it to you.
What? All right, ready? On
Matthew.
3. Are you serious or are you joking?
No, I really don't know it, man.
I thought dude, I've literally been putting a lot of like
It's
practicing.
scripted. It's in the
You did the notes?
It's in the notes.
I didn't get the song. I can go with it if you want me to go with it. I don't.
No,
We're just kidding.
There's no song.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's part of the intro.
Part of the intro is just
Okay.
Pranking Matt.
So the podcast is going to be three things. One, talking about bait history. Two, talking about how Matt fishes with the baits. And then 3, we'll be making fun of Matt. So every episode, we're just going to be hitting you low.
That should be pretty simple to do. I would
It's
think.
my favorite topic.
Every episode, we're going to do a multiple choice question. And if you guess it right, we'll get you a bait or we'll give you a shout out on the next video. So this episode's question is, in 2024, what year are we in? 25.
We're in 25 now.
Okay, in 2024, how many times did Matt have to go to the ER to get a hook removed from his hand?
See, I know that answer. And
So
We're going to have to phone a friend, Heather.
I think Heather knows it.
So we'll give you the answer at the end. I'll put up a couple multiple choice here, and you can guess which one you think it is. And then if you comment right now, and then you're correct, we'll give you a shout out at the on our next podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, how many times in 2024 did Matt go to the ER to get a hook removed? I shouldn't say from his hand, from his body.
Body, yeah, not just
from his
hand.
body.
Usually in a weird place because I can't do the braid trick by
And
myself. So
statistically speaking, what are the odds? Like, how many times did you go fishing? Probably 200?
a lot of
Probably
times.
200. On the boat, probably 100, 150.
So, yeah, the more you're fishing, the more it's bound to happen. It just
Right,
seems
that's
like
it.
a lot for 1 year.
You know, and it was my worst year, and I've been fishing a long time. So
Wait, the worst year fishing or the worst year
of hooks in my
So this is a
body,
multiple
piercing
year
my,
thing.
Yeah.
This is the worst year of hooks piercing my skin. I've had it, happens every once in a while, but
Okay.
this year for some reason the number was a lot higher.
We're talking barb into the skin.
All the way
You
in.
can't pull it out. You have to go to the emergency room.
Or you just got to find somebody that can do the braid trick. But I'm always by myself. That's
Yeah.
the problem, and it's hard to get a hold of it and all that stuff. So
Okay, that's fair.
And you probably can't find your glasses.
that's a big. I think that's part of
That's
the
probably
reason
part of it.
that this year was bad.
Yeah.
Because of the
Last year,
glasses?
whatever.
Always
was it.
needed glasses
just
before
to-
the eye surgery.
The one time I think
Pre-eye
the one
surgery.
time I did it, I was changing hooks, and that was
Yeah.
So
So it wasn't even a
that
fish
it
involved?
wasn't. Not that time. I was trying to switch hooks on my bait.
My favorite's the big fish that you caught with it. We'll have to put up the photo too.
Yeah, I can put the photo
Maybe
up.
not the zoom in of the hand, but
No,
of the
but
fish.
I'll just do the fish, and then
Yeah.
if you look
Sure.
closely, I think it's your left hand.
I think.
I don't know.
I remember. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
zoom in a little bit or
Yeah.
highlight. If you look closely, he's holding a hook. He's not holding it. It's stuck.
No, it's stuck.
It's
It's
stuck
pretty
there.
good. Yeah.
But
Don't
the
you
fish,
have one where it's your hand and the fish?
Well, that one was when he was thrashing, and that
Yeah.
oh god, that made me almost throw up. I almost passed out.
There's a lot of blood.
I couldn't. He was a 5-pounder, and he was when they thrash it, sometimes they just
Oh,
keep
yeah.
them stop.
Yeah.
And he was
They
just
just
ripping,
digging it further in.
It's made me sick to my stomach and lightheaded.
Yeah, that was definitely an ER trip at the lake.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at the end, we'll give you guys the answer, and we'll phone a friend and figure out how many times that happened.
All right.
Okay, so here's the actual the description. The Cryptid Cast is where fishing lures meet legendary stories. Join us as we cast lines in the unknown and dive into the history of tackle, baits, and the lures that have hooked both fish and folklore.
It sounds pretty legit. I'm excited. I want to hear more about this.
Okay. Okay. You don't have a choice.
Okay. Right.
I paid you for a full hour. All right. Slim, can you tell everybody what today's topic is?
Today's topic is rats. You can see the table here. There is just a ton of different kind, all custom built here. It's basically topwater rats, kind of like a wake bait, depending on the bill, the floating. I mean, we've used them all. We've caught them all, big, small, and the mallard that we butchered, we'll discuss later. It was my favorite lure. Matt cut it open.
We had to. It was a dire. We were in.
That's a teardrop.
Yeah.
It was $5 off eBay, straight from China.
But
Hey,
the sacrifice was well worth it.
We
though.
made good
Well
use
worth
of it. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
we did. So I want to do the full like fishing lure history on each bait that we discuss, but the rats are more of like an earlier, more of a modern bait. But I still want to give like an early history on it. So I think to set the stage for rats, we have to go back to the early 1900s, which the first I'm going to say rodent because it's not really a
Right.
rat. Which
Mice.
Yeah, mice.
A lot of it started with mice.
I should also throw a disclaimer out there that everything I have typed here, I got straight from Google.
Right.
So when the keyboard warriors get mad at me because I have a fact wrong or date wrong,
Right.
I'm sorry. But first up is one of the oldest lure companies that still makes baits to this day. Any guesses?
Head in.
Oh, what?
What?
Hold on.
So yes, you're correct. James Hedden is credited with inventing the first wooden body artificial lure in 1890s, actually, not 19.
Jeez.
Yeah, so
And
that,
if you want to Google it or look it up or check out the lures, it's Heddon.
that is correct.
Yes.
I think isn't that a head?
Studied. I read
It
the
is.
transcript.
Oh, so that's what I was going to say. So with probably most of these baits, we're going to be going back to James Hedden because that company, hold on here, I got the actual date. Okay. So 1890s is when Hedden started. So
Gotcha.
that's not when the mouse was made.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's what I was getting at was with most of these baits we're going to be talking about, most likely it's going to be Hedden that's going to be credited with the first one. However, there's a secondary company called the Creek Chub Bait Company
Ooh.
that also produced a mouse. But let's
New to me.
finish with the Hedden. The meadow mouse was first introduced in 1929.
Ooh, I was going to say 30. Okay, so yeah.
So yeah, 1929.
Close, yeah.
Slim, I think I gave you the wrong date.
I would have guessed like 1995
Right,
or something for a rat lure.
That is-
or a
yeah.
mouse lure.
It's very early.
I don't know how to say this, but is that
1929.
DOWAGIAC? It's in Michigan. I don't know how to pronounce it.
You
But
gotta-
so anybody from
yeah.
Michigan watching, the meadow mouse, one of the earliest rodent lures, was first produced in your state. So the meadow mouse was, of course, made out of wood, measured 2 3/4 inch in length. The meadow mouse has leather ears that were screwed in along with a leather tail, black eyes for beads, black beads for eyes.
So wait, it was called the metal mouse?
Meadow.
But it was
Meadow, like the wood,
Like a-
or
I was like,
the
why is it a
rolling
metal
metals.
mouse made out of wood?
No, but it did have a metal lip.
Interesting.
Yeah, but meadow.
Meadow.
It was available in 3 colors, and I found an old ad from May of 1929 that says the 3 colors available were brown, true field mouse, which I can show a picture of that. It's mostly like gray,
Gray, yeah.
and then a white and red coloration.
Interesting.
That's
Yep.
cool.
So I do have a question, though. Can you guess what the price of a meadow mouse lure was in 1929, the beginning of the Great Depression?
43
A
cents.
nickel.
Oh, man. No, it was $1.
With hooks?
With hooks.
Mm.
And out of those 3 colors. But one thing I did find
Wow.
cool was the ears and the tail were made out of leather.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So, I totally forgot all this at the beginning of the thing. But after this podcast, the following couple of videos will be building the bait and then painting them. So, like for this one, I know we're talking about rats, but I think the next video I'm going to do is building a mouse lure that is modeled after these original baits. So it'll have like a leather ears, leather tail.
Oh,
So
cool.
it's like a vintage
Yeah,
bait
yeah.
build. So
Yeah.
so kind of like
That
you
would
know,
be cool.
tipping the hat to
Sure.
the old original baits, and then we can move into building rats or whatever with that.
Absolutely.
But this was the part where I struggled was because you Google who invented the first mouse lure and you get the James Hedden and then the other company, the Creek Chub Bait Company,
Okay.
which was also which this company was founded in 1916 in Garrett, Indiana. So Michigan and Indiana are both the states that made the original first mouse lures.
Okay.
Missouri so far has nothing. I tried.
Nice.
I tried with Missouri first. Okay, so they introduced the Lucky Mouse also in 1929. And this bait, believe it or not, was also made of wood and also had leather ears and a leather tail. So
It seems like even to this day, you get one design, and then you get a bunch of they're all doing it.
And even more so now with the internet. Because
it's even crazier now. Yeah.
Back then, I don't know how it worked. Did somebody just like leave Michigan and go to Indiana and tell them what James was doing?
Exactly. Right.
So I can't tell you exactly who.
Someone got a hold of it down there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Is the Head Mouse, the Head Meadow Mouse lure was 2 3/4 inch in length.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Lucky Mouse was 3 inches. So a little bit bigger. So he's like, okay, cool. You're going to make a mouse. I'm going to make a bigger mouse. What do you think of that, James?
Yeah, there you take that.
Can you, however, though, here's the catch. Can you guess the price of the Lucky Mouse?
1929 still?
Yeah, 1929.
$1.40.
It's bigger.
It's a bigger mouse.
It's
More
a bigger mouse,
material.
but they're competitors.
I'd say
79 cents.
I would say 80 cents.
Okay, I screwed with both you guys. It is also $1.
I was gonna say that.
Unbelievable.
So $1 would get you either a Lucky Mouse from the Creek Chub Bait Company or the Head and Meadow Mouse lure. Later on, well, both companies, I guess, produce all kinds of different mice later on down the road in the company. So, yeah, the Lucky Mouse, the Creek Chub Bait Company's colors were natural gray and white with red eyes.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so yeah, there was a difference there.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
we'll have to decide. I'm going to try like the vintage bait I'm going to build. I'm going to do like the same colors and try to keep it like as original, not original, I guess, but as close to like what the original would be. So
Right on.
So Matthew, whenever we're talking later about which colors of rats,
Right. That's just, yeah.
that's the color I'm going to be going for.
Okay.
Side note, I did think was kind of cool because pretty much everybody that's watching is most likely bait painters or they're already making their own baits. In 1921, the Creek Chub Bait Company got a patent for their scale pattern that was produced. This is what it said. I found it. Produced by spraying paint through the netting, which is literally how we still do the pattern today.
Yeah.
You
So-
got all that stuff. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
cool.
so you know 29 is when that, but 1921 is when they did the patent for that scale. So I don't know if it was like a specific scale or like netting that they got the patent for,
Right.
because I don't think you can patent,
Right.
like nobody else is allowed to put netting on the
Right.
bait and paint it. I don't know how that works exactly. But Slim, I think I gave you the wrong dates earlier. Was there anything interesting that was produced in 1929, just to set the stage for everybody? Because beginning of the Great Depression, but what else were you able to find?
Hold on. Time to turn it over to Slim. So actually, yeah, this from Google, so whatever. You did give me the right date, 1929. So fun fact here, the car radio invented, revolutionized road trips is what it says.
You know what they did before the car radio was invented?
Had Matt sing in the back seat.
Yeah, Matt.
Acapella.
Fun fact, too, pine saw, a household product, was introduced in 1929.
Pine saw.
That's how old the rat lure is.
Interesting.
And then this one was a Polaroid.
Oh, really? The Polaroid?
Yeah.
Is that the pictures I found then?
Yeah.
You
The
think those were-
polarizer was introduced in 1929. And the last one, well, there's like 20 here. Some of these words, I don't know what they are. The famous one would be penicillin.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's an important one.
Yeah.
So you probably got a penicillin shot when you were trying to fish with this lure.
And taking your pictures of your big bass with the Polaroids. It's just the Polaroid camera.
Yeah, take a picture with the Polaroid.
1929 though,
Yeah.
Matt, really sick, goes walking into the store with $1 in his hand, and he sees the mouse.
Do I get the mouse or do I get the
Penicillin.
that?
He's going mouse.
Yeah.
That's
a tough one.
Speaking of being sick, do you want to tell that story of you?
Which one?
The one down at the lake. You were really sick. That's what I was thinking was funny, or we should give the people a little bit more of a background. So if you were 1929, you were sick and walked into a store and you could buy either the Lucky Mouse lure or penicillin to help you, you would pick the mouse
For sure.
'Cause
Unless I was like not able to cast.
I don't think
You know,
I don't think literally you could stop.
Yeah.
So because you had said This is how crazy Matt is. Even like dog sick, you still go out fishing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I was cracking up when he was telling me the story. Whenever you said you were really hot, and the
I remember during COVID. It was during COVID.
Was it really?
And I was sick. I was sick as a dog. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I
Well, it
thought
was probably COVID. I think I know why.
I thought maybe if I jump in,
Sure.
you know, it might feel better and
Cool you down a
cool
little
me
bit.
down. And so I took a dive and get back out, and the boat's spot locked on a point, and another. I
But you said you stripped down to your skippies,
I was in my underwear. I was in my boxers
Yeah.
for sure. And I just started feeling real sick, and I just started barfing all over the side of the boat, right? And
in
I'm
your
on
underwear.
in my underwear, my boxers, and other bass boats coming down the other side of the bluff wall.
Yeah.
And this is during COVID, and I'm barfing over the side of the boat, right, and just throwing up. And he sees me, and man, he takes a beeline, turns around, and pieces out. You know, because it's COVID time. And
Sure.
it's like, I don't want to be anywhere near that guy.
Even not COVID time, just like you're out fishing on a Sunday afternoon,
Yeah.
and you come around this corner and see this dude all wet in his underwear throwing up off the side of his boat.
Yeah.
But then you kept fishing.
I kept fishing. I got it out, and
Yeah.
I kept fishing.
Did you catch anything?
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I was killing them.
Shoot,
They
yeah,
were all stacked on that point for sure.
that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Enough about the mice. We can move on to what we're all here to talk about and discuss, which is the rat. So the older or bigger brother of the mouse bait.
Yeah, the big boys.
And this is another one. I didn't write the other guy's name down. I forgot. I've messed up on that. So you might remember his name. But the first guy, the guy who's considered the godfather of the rat bait or swim bait is Jerry Rago.
Jerry,
Yeah,
Yep.
Rago.
Yep.
And I did see that the Swim Bait Underground did a whole interview with him, and that really goes into his story. I didn't want to just copy and paste what they said because that'd be kind of lame. So if you do want like a full background on Jerry Rago and how he builds his baits and all that stuff, Swim Bait Underground did do a full interview with him. So you can go check that out. But what I did find, and I did listen to a podcast with him too, which I think you did too, Matt.
Yeah.
So if there's anything on that you remember that you wanted to point out, just throw it out there. Mid 1990s is whenever he started initially building swim baits is where he started. And then actually he started painting Rapellas, which I thought was kind of cool
Yeah,
because that's kind of where I started.
Right.
Not necessarily Rapellas, but like repainting existing baits.
That's how you started. Yeah.
And then exact same story as us where he wanted some of these other baits and then didn't want to pay that for him. So he went home and started making his own.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool. And the dates are kind of, I couldn't figure it out because Google says one thing and then somebody else says another. But I'm pretty sure it was 2001 is I think what they said in that podcast.
I think so. Something.
Whenever he made his first rat bait. And then it's so funny listening to him because he said his first cast, he went down there to test it and caught, I think he said it was a 5 pound.
He wasn't trying to even, just like we do when we go to the ponds.
Yeah.
And we just want to see it swim.
Yeah, he was literally just
doing
testing
one of
it.
those, and
Yep.
it got blown up
Yeah,
on you.
and then I'm pretty sure he said it was dark too, or he couldn't see it. Like he could hear the bait, but couldn't really see it waddling.
Yeah.
And then caught a big old fish on it first cast.
Yeah, can you imagine the feeling?
Oh, I mean,
And
I
then
literally
you're
get
like-
that feeling with everything
Right.
on a little fish.
And you're like, what do I have here?
Yeah,
You know, like,
and
let's see.
that's what he said. So he said, I forget for how long it was. They kept it a secret and just went around and crushed.
For sure.
Which at the end of every episode, we're going to give away most of Matt's top secrets. so if you guys want to stick around, so Matt's got
How to
baits
fish the
that he's
Ozarks.
keeping secrets, and we're just going to give them away for free right here on the episode.
Sure, yeah.
We'll wait till Matt leaves,
All of them.
and then we can tell you.
All the deepest, darkest, cuppy secrets.
That's right.
But there was, I think it was 2021 was whenever that podcast that we both listened to, and he goes into a lot more of like his baits and how he's building them or the different fishing styles for him. So I didn't want to just copy everybody or somebody else's work that they put into it and speak for him. So that's kind of all the information that I had. But he was a guy who's credited with inventing the rat bait,
Yep.
which leads us to our rats. So I don't have a date for whenever I made my first rat, but that
The white one?
no, that one, the darker white, yeah,
Correct.
Left hand.
yeah, left hand. That was the very first rat I made, and it's got
A jitterbug lip.
jitterbug lip. I
That's
thought
cool.
that one was actually the actual jitterbug lip. Oh no, that little black one has.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was the first mouse rat bait that I made, and it swims okay. It waddles fine.
Yeah.
I did catch a fish on it the first day I brought it out to test it.
Nice.
I don't think it doesn't swim as good as the ones that we make now,
Right.
of course, because it was my first one. But if I can find that picture, I'll throw that up. It wasn't a 5-pounder.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll Photoshop it, make it bigger.
How cool is that, though?
It was thrilling.
On your first
And it was
cast?
like the fish were biting, but I left to come back to the shop to start working on the next
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which the next one, I think, was that white one,
Yeah.
and then that gray one on the end down there. And then I have this problem, and I'm sure some people listening can relate to it. You really get into something, that's all you can think about for like 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And then I figured out we got the bait swimming right, and then it's on to the next one. And I didn't even make a whole bunch of them. So
Right.
I'm trying to get better about that.
Right.
But fast forward, I don't know. Well, I think that was right around the time we became friends, when I was making the ones with the jitterbug lips. And that was when TikTok first became big, and I got on there.
Okay, yeah.
And then, got busy with other stuff and didn't touch them for a while until Matthew said, Zach, can you make a giant rat?
Yeah.
And that leads us to...
Yeah. These bad boys right here. I'm telling you.
Which I literally laughed when I was like, how big do you want it? And I forget what you said. You were like 8 inches?
Yeah, something like that.
And
With
I cut...
the tail, it's like 15.
Yeah, I
12.
cut the piece of wood out and I like had it shaped. I'm like, there's no way that this is gonna like I'm in, but I don't think it's gonna work. But that was the first time I'd made a bait that big,
Yeah.
and then 2, it was the first time I made anything that big, I guess. And then putting the bill or the lip in there. I didn't have anything at the shop that had a bill or like the plastic big enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then one thing we learned is the line tie has to be down low.
Right.
I had it up top because I was making.
I remember that.
Yeah, because I was making them like the same design I made for these with the jitterbug lip. So the jitterbug lip, the line tie has to be up high to
Right.
get that lip up out of the water so
Right.
it waddles. And so whenever we made that bait, and I've made other topwater baits with bills, but when we made that one, literally everything's right. It looks good sitting in the water. It looks like it should, but it just would not swim worth a crap. And I don't know if you guys remember this. Well, we're getting frustrated because we kept making one change, and then we'd drive all the way to Bush,
Right. Yeah.
and then test it, and then it wouldn't work.
Right.
And so what we ended up doing was we went up to Lowe's and bought those boards. Do you guys remember that?
Yes,
And then made
yes.
like the temporary test tank in my
Temporary
backyard.
test tank. Yes.
Yeah. So I can roll a couple.
And that was cool. That worked.
It did work. I
Yeah.
need to build like a nicer one because we got holes in it from the hooks, of course.
We
and
got
then-
enough of what we needed to see
yes.
out of it, which was
then-
cool.
And then it was right outside the shop. So
Right.
then it was like, okay. But then Slim was like, why don't you move the line tie down? And I was like, okay.
And that bad boy started wobbling.
Wobbling like a
wobbling.
dude. It swims like it's phenomenal. You know.
That's when we took the old. Actually, I just saw the hook here and realized it should be lower. That's when we gutted the old ducky and took the lip out.
That was this
That's
lip.
the black one.
Yeah,
I thought
because
it was this
I
black
didn't
one.
have any
Was it this
plastic.
I thought it was this
No,
one.
it's this one.
Oh,
It's
it
the
is
black
that
one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because the
let's
black
see
one
it.
was first.
And then we put that bad boy in there,
And-
and that thing moves like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, I'll grind it off. All right. What you got?
Motion in the ocean.
Looks way better. Think it's gonna do something?
I do.
So now the $1 million question. This is Slim's duck. Whoa. Matt wants the bill from Slim's
I
duck.
do.
$5.
$5. How about a Diet Coke?
How about chips and queso?
Queso.
Fine, dude. So, I mean, it's only my great eBay special find.
Get the hammer.
No longer exists.
I'm gonna let you do it.
I ain't doing it.
I don't want to break his duck.
He's got to break it.
Those are like
What? Dude, it's like. So you want to actually sacrifice the duck?
No. Matt does.
Nah, I mean it's okay. We can.
Sacrifice the duck.
No,
What if
Cut
it's
its head
like
off.
bound?
you can cut its head off.
What if it's
You want? Where's the hammer? Oh, that smells.
Yeah, that must be nice to click when my dead duck's not clicking anymore. Let's go, losers.
Rest in peace.
So try, we'll get there in 8 minutes.
I didn't have anything to make a bill that big.
You can look at it up close. It's been chewed, man. I caught several bass the first time I used it, and they weren't even big necessarily.
No, that's what's crazy.
14 inches, they hit that. Yeah.
That's what's blowing my mind with this whole like building big baits is how small some of the fish are that hit them.
Yeah, and I think that they see how big it is, and they got to hit it. They can't. They got to hit it if they want to hit it.
Just irresistible.
You know, they have to. Even if they're 14 inches, you know, they got to.
Sure.
And it's got that noise, man. That good.
A little waddle
Yeah.
hit. So they were talking about on that one thing. They call it dead sticking.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
Do you ever do that?
Oh yeah.
With
Just
those?
let it sit out there. Just let it sit. It's like it came right off the bank.
Okay.
And it's just stunned.
So it's just sit.
A lot of times, yeah, that works for sure.
So dead sticking, you just cast the bait and let it sit.
Let it sit. Yep.
That's wild. So I didn't need to worry about making it swim right. You could just
you could just make it
Literally
float.
let it
You could just
sit.
make it float.
a dead stick.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But there was a small argument whenever we saw Slim's duck sitting there with the big bill,
Mm-hmm.
and we're like,
I feel like I ruined his life when
So we used to fish a lake that no one knew about. It was awesome, and I caught the most fish. I think I caught you caught like 50 that time with the
buzzbait or something.
buzzbait. Yeah, you kind of just blew it out of the water.
But-
yeah,
Oh. Anyways, but I held, I think, the biggest out of it, which was 6 something off this. And
$2
it's like-
duck.
it's
$5.
like
How much was it?
whatever.
$5
It was
duck.
$4.99 off of
$5
eBay,
duck.
or $8.99 free shipping off of eBay.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. It's made out of like plastic, but the thing is,
That noise.
that loud click.
it's just
They love
so loud.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a double treble size 1.
Mm.
I can see why you have so many hooks in your hand.
Oh, yeah.
It was miserable.
Yeah. The bigger the yeah.
And it was at
Well,
night.
actually, the little,
We couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
It was terrible. I think any of these have hooks on them. Anyways, so we took it apart. The rat works 30 times better, and it's something you actually made, so it's way cooler.
But I just wanted to personally say thank you, Slim, for your sacrifice.
I know you
know.
weren't thrilled with that.
I wasn't
that whole
thrilled with
deal.
it,
We
but it began the evolution of the Baker Builds rat.
That's right.
And I will get you a new duck, or I'll make one.
Yeah, it's okay. It retired.
Okay, real quick. I have a would you rather question that you.
You got a ladybug on your microphone too. It's pretty cool. What does that mean? Is that like a sign of something?
That means
That's
I'm
good
going to
luck.
die and everyone close to me probably.
That's
So
I was gonna hope you would
you
say
have
like
to
a happy thing.
make a decision
No,
here
that's
if you want
good
to finish
luck,
the
bro.
podcast. Or ladybugs are.
Yeah.
Good.
Like good luck. I could use some of that.
now
Okay,
your luck
this is
gone.
a mid pie. Well, I don't know mid. This is a break in the topic. And I'm going to ask you a would you rather, and you have to answer.
All right.
So I've been thinking all day. I have 2 really good ones. So I'm going to ask the first one, and if you guys answer it too fast, we can do the second one. If
All
not,
right.
we can save the second one for a different video.
Okay.
But would you rather? Let me set the stage for you. Close your eyes, Matt. Slim. Imagine you're down at the Ozarks fishing. This is more for Matt.
Mhm.
Slim, you can be
I'm
there.
there though.
You're there. Okay.
I'm getting the net,
He's-
right,
he's
Matt?
with
I'm
me.
getting the net.
You just ate
He's
a big.
telling me I got my whopper plopper stuck in my butt.
Hey Matt, have you seen your whopper plopper, dude? It's in your. Yeah, that was. We should show
So,
a clip of that.
Yeah.
You got 2 tournaments this week, and they're pretty big tournaments, right? You want to win them, okay? So you just got done eating your big breakfast. Boat's launched. You're leaving the cove, getting ready to get up on plane, right? You get to your first spot, and you cast. Let's just go ahead and say it's with the Baker Builds rat.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the you hear the birds chirping. Sorry, my eyes aren't closed.
Okay.
I feel like I have to look at you guys. Okay, let me get back. There's a nice breeze. You just pulled up on the first cove. You're deploying the trolling motor.
The fog is
And
just
then
cleared.
You're making me want to fish real bad.
Oh, hold on. Okay. And then you see 2 other boats pull up next to you, both sides.
Mm-hmm.
But they can hear you if you're talking. So you don't want to tell everyone you're throwing the Baker Builds rat because that's what they might throw too. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So big tournament weekend, and you got tournaments all week long. Okay. So here's the would you rather. So you catch a big fish, a 5-pounder,
Mm-hmm.
on the rat, and you pull them into the boat. So here it is. Would you rather? You can open your eyes now.
Okay.
Would you rather a bass that insults you the whole time he's out of the water and just like hurts your feelings?
Okay.
So like your insecurities,
Yeah.
or a bass that just does this. Ah! the whole time he's out of the water. So he's screaming bloody murder.
100%, I would take the insults.
Would you?
Oh yeah, I can handle that.
I don't know.
I don't want them dudes looking over and see what I'm throwing.
And the fish the whole time
And he's just screaming. No, I don't want that.
or the fish is just like, you're stupid. You
I'd
suck at
take that.
fishing."
I'll take that.
For Slim, it would be like, you should be golfing.
Yeah.
You're wasting your time.
Well, would it be out of the live, like in the live well, so it's really quiet?
No, just
If
like,
he's screaming.
like you pull him out of the
Yeah.
water and you're trying to get the hooks out.
And he's just,
He's either screaming or he's trash talking.
I want to trash talk.
I'd go with the trash talk.
You go with the trash talk?
Yeah,
I think I would pick the screaming fish just to see what it's like.
just to see if it's a high pitch, low pitch.
Does it sound like what you just
Yes,
did?
the whole
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
Literally the whole time.
I would
I'm
go with
taking
the
trash.
insults.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Trash talk for sure.
Yeah.
I do want to rewind real quick because when we had our eyes
I
closed,
can't scream like that twice.
and I had people are probably wondering. We had our eyes closed, and you were describing the big breakfast, and I couldn't stop laughing because one of the first fishing trips I had with Matt, his big breakfast was just chips and queso, and like dino chicken
At
nuggets.
4:30 in the morning.
He's like, it's like 4:45. I'm waking up trying to drink my coffee, and he's like, "You want some breakfast?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude." And he's got chips and queso and like salsa and like chicken nuggets or something. And I was like, "No, that sounds absolutely." We went to bed like 3 hours ago, so I wanted to rewind on that because very first time, I'm like,
Yeah.
"Who is this weirdo?"
Oh man.
Matt's already,
waking up.
Matt's already down in the lake and Slim's still stuck at breakfast. Like, where's
Yeah.
the eggs?
Yeah, looking for eggs and bacon and
Is that-
chips and queso.
Is that one of your secrets, Matt? Your secrets to the big
Hey,
fish?
that might be.
A healthy,
Dino
healthy,
nugget?
hearty breakfast.
Yeah,
Dino nuggets and
Dino
queso.
nuggets.
Yeah.
I mean, it smelled good, but I was like, no, bro.
Okay. I'll go ahead and throw out the second would you rather. We don't have to paint the whole picture. Paint the same picture. You just got done eating your dino nuggets. You're pulling up on your first cove. Here's the catch. Would you rather you either have 30 geese that follow you around the whole day? They're like on your boat in the water. You're trying to cast and reel your bait in.
Yeah.
And these geese come up and they're trying to peck at your bait.
Yeah.
And they're on your boat. 30 of them.
Okay.
Or
Imagine all the poop, too.
Right.
yeah. Or a horse in your boat.
A horse?
Yeah. Is your boat, is it a dual console?
No, it's yeah, it's got one.
Okay,
So
yeah.
we
So
could-
then that whole
yeah.
other spot, there's just a horse and his 4 legs is in
Just
that one
chill.
spot.
Does he sit there the whole time?
Yeah, he's fine.
I like that.
Yeah. So, but
I would
but
actually-
your boat's like this.
Yeah, I would
and
dig
then, and then you
He's a
can't-
full-grown horse.
full-grown horse.
Not a pony.
And then
Yeah.
every now and then he's like,
Pony would be. Yeah.
you'd pick the horse over the chickens. You couldn't get up.
You
on
said
plane.
geese.
I'm sorry, geese.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
thinking of chickens because you said that
Chickens.
earlier.
Look at all these chickens.
Yeah.
I think I would like the horse just because I don't want to clean up all that.
But geese are pretty annoying.
And then pulling up the wagon with this horse in your boat.
I mean, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I would like to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to take an insulting bass and a horse.
I'm taking the horse.
I'm going insulting bass and geese
Okay.
because they're everywhere anyways.
I mean, they pretty much do follow you around anyway.
I mean, yeah.
I think I'm
You
going
can
to
feed
go.
them. You could distract them. You can't really do much
Right.
with a horse.
I just think the horse would be
The
interesting.
horse would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for the screaming bass and the
Interesting
geese.
choice.
So there's
Yeah.
literally nobody's gonna want to be around me. That's
Yeah,
my game
it's
plan.
gonna
That's a good idea if you
Like-
get people away
noise.
from you.
Like there's something wrong with this guy. Every time he catches a fish, somebody's screaming,
Right.
and those geese won't stop. They're just going
Right.
honk honk honk
That's
the whole
valid.
time. Yeah.
That's valid.
So that's my game plan. I'll
That's
just whatever point I want. That's my point now. Well, mine and the 30 geese. That's our point.
Valid.
That's true. Hey, I like that thought process for sure.
Okay. All right. So that was this week's Would You Rather.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
good. That was good.
I was laughing really hard because I was talking to the guys at work. I'm like, what's a good would you rather?
Yeah.
And Isaiah said, he's like, what about a horse in your boat?
Yeah.
And, dude, I was like almost in tears thinking about
That's
Matt with a horse in his boat.
Very random.
So if we get 4 million likes on this video, we'll figure out a way to put a horse in Matt's boat.
Oh, God.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah,
We can test it on my boat first.
If you could get him to sit still,
he's
We'll go
fine.
with a pony on my boat.
He's an old horse. He's chill.
he's chill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta just feed him some apples.
You got to bring a lot of apples with you. And good luck getting
Bag
into
of
your live
apples.
well. His
bunch of
tail's
dino,
going to
Yeah.
be back
bunch
there.
Yeah.
of dino nuggets.
I could cut
horse.
pieces of his tail and tie like a fly up or a bait.
That might make him mad.
Yeah,
Then
You'll
you,
get
then, you,
kicked.
Yeah.
then you have a mad horse on
Yeah.
the boat.
Yeah.
That'd be a good thing to look at though, if there's ever been horsehair for
there.
lures.
I know fly guys that used to go they'd go on these trips and they would cut like whatever kind of the donkeys or whatever would be out in the
Yeah.
field. They'd cut hair from the mules and stuff and tie these big flies to make it look like the forage that they were trying to catch these big they were called tiemen.
I can see another ER trip where Matt got kicked by a horse.
Yeah, kicked by
I've
a
been
horse.
kicked by a horse.
Have you?
Bad.
Yeah.
Were you trying to make a bait?
No, it was on. Yeah, it was on a bachelor party.
Okay.
I tried to ride him, and he kicked me and shattered my heel. I couldn't walk for. I mean,
That sounds like a Matt thing.
I couldn't walk for at least a month. I mean, for a month. It was bad.
And that's why we stick to fishing.
Yeah. Right.
Screaming bass.
Yeah, I was fishing that day earlier, but this was after that.
Future video though, if I cut some hair off my beard, would you fish with it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%. Yes.
Okay.
I'll tie it up under my vise.
So we
On a fly. It would be easier.
I think we can make a couple of them
Yeah.
and then auction off the other ones.
For sure. Yeah.
Baker Build's beard bait.
That would be great.
BB.
Watch it be like money. And now I got
I mean, the beard oil I use
Yeah.
is pretty
I need to get,
sandalwood.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you growing that out again or what?
Yeah. It's like, Zach, we need you to grow a beard faster. We're out of baits.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the rats. Matthew.
Yes.
I have two questions. One, we need to figure out a setup for if you're fishing with big baits like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then also need you to give us some info if you're a new angler, young angler, a store-bought mouse or rat that they could buy that you would recommend.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. Okay. So the setup depends on how big of a rat you want to throw. If you're throwing these bad boys, the big ones, the 8, 9, 10-inch rats, you're going to need a heavy swim bait rod, some sort of a, maybe an extra heavy, but a heavy. I try to go as light as you can get away with.
A light of a rod?
But I'm not
or
saying
you're
light.
saying bait.
No, I'm saying I'm saying extra heavy or heavy swim bait. But if you can go with lighter, it's a treble hook bait. So when they do hit, you want to keep them pegged. So you don't want to have a straight broomstick because
Okay.
a broomstick will pull the hooks out.
I got you.
You want to have some kind of bend. But for these rats, I'd throw like an 8-foot heavy swim bait.
Okay.
Now you get down to the other ones. These other ones you can throw these spros. You could throw that even on just a regular heavy. It doesn't have to be a swim bait
Like
rod.
a 7-foot?
Yeah,
medium heavy
Yeah, you
be
can
fine?
do. Yeah, and what was I gonna say? This is a great rat to buy in a store to start out with. These
Okay.
things swim and catch fish. Really good, almost like handmade baits.
Sure.
Yeah. And they make different sizes. This is, I think, the biggest one, and there's a couple other two. I think there's two more. There's a little one and there's a middle.
Okay.
So these spros are real good to buy from a store.
Sure, yeah.
The cool thing about fishing a rat is most of the guys that are real good with rats, a lot of them say, you can walk these baits and they walk great. You side to side, like if you get around a piece of cover,
Mm-hmm.
you can walk it. But a lot of guys that throw rats, they say the steady retrieve. Throw it
Just
out
real
and
slow.
reel it in slow.
That's why I like top water, because I feel like a lot of top water.
And a lot so if you're new to fishing, you don't really know how to walk a bait.
Mm-hmm.
You can just wind this sucker in slow,
Okay.
and that's usually how you get a lot of the rat bites.
And
you
let it pause, maybe.
You can pause it for sure.
Switch it up some.
Switch it up, but like I said, these things do walk. They do side to side. They twitch, and you can get that wood to knock too. So you could do either anything. Like I said, if you come up to a piece of wood, stop it. You do a couple little, get it, twitching a little
Right.
bit, and then continue on. A lot of times you get your bites though with a rat or anything big topwater like that. You get it right away a lot,
Okay.
or they seem to follow it and hit it right before you pull it out.
I got you.
So-
that's what
My specialty is right when it gets to the boat and you're giving up on the cast, you're
Yeah.
pulling it in, it goes to strike, and you completely miss it.
And that happens a lot.
Yeah.
And I think they track, and then they see, and then they get,
Mhm.
then they
They
either
follow
hit it
it.
or they, right.
That's what the Jerry Rago guy said. It seems like most of them are either as soon as the bait hits the water
Mhm.
or right before you pull it out. Do you
Yeah,
think
that's
that's
a lot.
the same for you? Or
I
is
think
that-
so. I really do. Yeah.
Or I guess it's also though when you're walking it, if you're bringing it over top. I guess it would change depending on what the bass are doing
For
that
sure.
day. Too.
But a lot of times it's right after it hits the water.
Mhm.
Like you'll get a lot of hits like that. They don't even know what it is. They're almost like they're looking for it
it's
coming at them.
something just hits, so
Yeah.
it's a reaction bite.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of the noise with it clicking and clacking. I mean, my favorite is the Spro, I think, besides the obvious custom Baker
Right.
Builds ones.
Thank
but
you.
I had a
Thank
mini
you.
Spro. It was like
Yeah.
purple and yellow.
Yeah.
Thing
I think that was the
sweet.
morning dawn color. I think
Yeah.
it was called. Yeah.
I nailed him on that. It was a real small one.
Yeah.
And it was just
Yeah.
because I would run it real fast.
Yeah.
And then so this will be a segue into the next video. one size. Obviously, you like the big baits, but
Yeah, but if you don't,
on a mouse. So the next video will be a build video making a vintage style mouse bait, and I'm going to try to do everything where it's like locally resourced materials. That way, people at home can build them too. Color though, does color matter? So color on 2 baits, one a small one and then on a big rat. So starting with the small one, if I built you a vintage style mouse fishing lure, what color would you go with?
Personally, me, I like.
It's got to have leather ears.
It is going to have leather ears.
I really like this gray one a lot, but anything to me natural, I like. But white also does work. But I'm not a big fan of the. Like he said, they do work. The morning dawns, the crazy.
They
do work.
It was like bright colors.
Yeah.
For me,
it was
though,
purple.
The
and bright yellow.
Purple.
And I tore it up on it.
Really?
If I'm.
Was it in the morning at dawn?
I couldn't tell you. Probably not. I'm a late fisherman.
Yeah.
I just like the natural colors.
Okay.
You got to have a black, and then like some kind of a brown, and then I think a white though. White's always, to me, that's
white's all day.
Yeah, you can do white. Yeah, white'll work. Yeah, absolutely, with that bone or white.
Okay, sure.
So
you're about to put another hook in your hand right there.
Sure I am. Yep. But
okay, so you think that's for both small and big rats, the colors?
I think so, man. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I look at it more of like a natural colors thing to me. You know.
So natural colors it is. I'll paint one crazy one for Slim.
And I think.
I'll call
it probably doesn't even matter.
I like the disco you put on those whopper ploppers. I think a
disco
rat
pattern.
discoed would be incredible.
I'll do that, and I'll name it the Evening Dusk.
Yeah, or the psychedelic Evening Dusk. I have caught my biggest and best fish at the lake on his disco colored
on
lures.
The whopper plopper?
On the whopper plopper.
That's nice. A killer color.
Not this year, because I suck.
Okay. To wrap up our first podcast, Matthew, you told me, well, I have two things. We got to figure out the answer to how many hooks. And then
do we phone a friend?
In a minute.
Okay.
But so we're called the Cryptid Cast.
Right.
So we want to talk about aliens, Bigfoot, chupacabras.
That's my
Mothman.
I love all that. So
I'm gonna send a video. We need confirmation.
Oh,
we're live
okay.
right now.
Hi.
We need you to snap us back.
We have a question.
How many times did Matt go to the emergency room with a hook in his body?
2024.
2024.
We're out of time today to talk about this.
I don't believe in Bigfoot.
But next episode,
crazy man.
Next episode, Matt's got a story for us next episode that it's got some folklore, tall tale sounding things.
Maybe we can call my buddy Chris that he was with me too. He saw it.
So next
Option
episode.
A, chupacabra. Option B, Bigfoot.
What do you think Bigfoot uses real rats to fish with?
I think Bigfoot would absolutely real rats. Yes.
Have you ever seen Bigfoot?
Option C, some random guy in the woods.
Saw his reflection.
I think I've seen him. I think I've seen him multiple times.
Okay.
But
all right. Well, if anybody has seen Bigfoot, ask him what color of mouse or rat he uses. And then next episode, we got a story for you guys involving, what did you say? Chupacabras? Chupacabras.
Yeah.
Chupacabras.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll do my research on chupacabras. Also, what bait do you guys want next episode to be? And then if there's anything in particular that stands out, that's what we're going to go with. Next video is going to be building a mouse bait followed by painting it. And we'll do a couple natural colors. And then we will move into building a big rat and painting those. Along with all my other normal videos coming out weekly. So I was going to say something at the end of the video and I forgot.
Well, real quick before we go, though, I just can't get over this. Ready, Matt? Let's rock out.
All right.
It's my favorite.
That's good.
It's my favorite thing ever.
I never played in a band, so I just sat here like I was in the audience.
I did the bass and the guitar, but I should have just did the drums right there.
Yeah, you need to leave me the guitar.
Do you want to do it again?
Yeah.
Let's go one more time.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
I'll still be
I'll do the bass.
Okay.
I'll be
you do the bass?
You do the drums.
Wait, what do I do?
Drums.
Okay.
You
do the tambourine. You just shake this thing like
okay.
this. Ready?
Okay.
One,
yeah.
two. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 2, 1.
I didn't hear the tambourine in the back. So.
I don't know why I did the 3-2-1. That wasn't even a 3-4 rhythm.
It's okay.
Okay, so here's the deal.
It's been a while.
I'm going to have one request at the end of every video. If you laughed, found something interesting in the video, literally anything, you like something in the video, anything at all, do me a favor and thumbs up the video or comment, or if you want to subscribe, because I can see all those analytics, so then I know if people like what's going on. I normally don't ask that in videos to do any of that just because people know how YouTube works, but this is a whole new segment I'm adding to the channel. So if you liked it, do me a favor and thumbs it up so more people see it, just so we know what to do. And then next episode, we'll be discussing spooky things.
Spooky.
And then whatever bait you guys pick in the comments below. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Slim, do you have anything you want to say?
You know, I didn't get a reply, so I'm going to guess. I think it's 3 times. Can I guess right now?
Ooh, and then we can tell everybody in the next episode?
Yeah, I think it's 3.
Okay.
I know of 2. I was there for 1.
I'm going to go to the ER.
To the actual ER.
Okay.
I think it's 2. Hook in hand has to be at least 6.
But we'll just do trips to the ER.
Not just hand.
He couldn't get it
Not
out
just
himself.
hand, though.
Yeah.
How
I'm
about-
trying to think of when the
How about
Whopper
we have
was
an honorable mention?
but-
So it's like, how many trips to the ER is
Yeah.
the question you got to answer, and then honorable mention, how many times
bonus question.
was it like, did it happen
He had
altogether?
to do the trick and get his glasses.
I'm
Yeah.
sure there's some that I forgot about.
There's
Yeah.
got to be at least 10.
But I'm sure Heather will probably remember them.
At
I'm gonna
least.
go 4 trips to the ER
4.
because I think there's 3 that I can remember, so there's got to be one more
one
stuck
that
in
he
there.
didn't tell us about.
Because I know there was one that
Like
you
that
stepped on.
embarrassing. Oh, I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
I just forgot about that one too.
Yeah, because you
He's
sent
gonna
me.
know.
You sent us a snap of you at the ER again, and followed by a photo of your foot with a treble
I
hook in it.
forgot about the step. Wasn't that in your living room?
But see, that might have been the year before. I don't know.
I thought that was last year.
It might have.
Wait,
been.
was that in your living room or is that on the boat?
living room? I think was what was.
The step on?
I don't know. They all run together.
Sure. When it happens that many times.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll answer that in the next video. All right.
All right.
We need a better outro song.
Peace.
That's all, folks.
Perfect. All right. Well,
Dude, awesome.
I think that was decent, right?
Oh, I think.